Hello, in today's video I'm going to talk about how to install GitLab on Ubuntu Linux. So first step, I removed the Apache 2 because I don't use Apache to serve web applications. I use Node.js, and Apache 2 is installed in Ubuntu, and it serves some weird page on your port 80, which is quite annoying, so I just uninstalled it. So, because that port 80 is also used by GitLab. Of course, you can configure GitLab to serve GitLab on a different port, but for me it's just easier to remove the Apache 2 first. Sudo apt purge Apache 2 and star. So once you purge Apache 2, you would do sudo autoremove, sudo apt autoremove. So remove those packages, yeah. Okay, sudo apt purge Apache 2 star and sudo autoremove. Then you should you should also stop the Apache service first, or reboot your computer. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So once you have the Apache 2 out of the way, if you go to your local host, there should be I already installed GitLab. So before you install GitLab, if you remove Apache 2 successfully, you go to localhost, there should be nothing. Yeah. So that you can confirm you have removed Apache 2 already. So once Apache 2 is out of the way, you should now install a few things. The first is Postgres. The Postgres installation is fairly straightforward. If you visit the Postgres homepage, it already supports the latest version of Ubuntu 2010. I'm using Ubuntu 2010 beta version, so the official release date is next month, October 2021. I already installed the beta version, so it already supports the impish, Ubuntu impish 2110. So you can just directly follow these commands to install Postgres. It's fairly simple, yeah. Just follow these instructions, you're done. After you install, you can use Postgres to add a user or add a database or whatever you want to do with a database. So this is the databases I have. So I have a database called Postgres, I have a database called Array, and you can also list your users and etc. Configure user password, like password array or whatever. So just create some users password so you can actually use your PostgresQL. This video is not about PostgresQL. This is about a GitLab. So to install GitLab, you need a Postgres to be installed first, which is very easy. Just follow official instructions. And also, if you have never used Postgres, just read some documentation, add a user, add a database, that kind of stuff. Okay, now the next step is optional. You can install this pgadmin4, which is a graphic user interface for accessing Postgres. In production, you would never need to install pgadmin4 on a server. This is a client application, so you can access Postgres with a graphic user interface. But I'll just demo it here. So the pgadmin4 unfortunately does not have any support for this Ubuntu 2110 yet. So what I did is went to this directory. I will post them on my comment section, video comment section, so you don't have to memorize them. But anyway, pgadmin4 apt, which is advanced package tool for Debian-based applications, including Ubuntu, and I used Hirsute. Yeah, it's Ubuntu 20. I think that's the latest one currently available. dist/pgadmin4 man binary AMD 64, which is your CPU architecture, obviously. That's the most people who use. And I downloaded the latest version 5.7. And then once it is downloaded, you can just see, you download two guides. You downloaded both the pgadmin4 desktop and pgadmin4 server. And then you can just sudo apt install, first install server, pgadmin4 server. Then you install pgadmin4 desktop. Then you are done. Install both. There should be no issues. Once you have installed pgadmin4, you should be able to see this little guy installed. You can just search for pgadmin. It will show up, and prompt your admin password. And then you can just add a server. You can configure a server, which I already configured. It connects to my Postgres And Postgres, I have two databases. One is the Postgres, one is my name. So once you installed Postgres and you installed pgadmin4, you are good. You can now install GitLab. pgadmin4, of course, is optional. You don't have to install pgadmin4. It's just a nice thing for Postgres. To install GitLab, it's fairly straightforward. So the GitLab also does not have the latest version. I don't think so. So you need to... So this GitLab does not have support for Ubuntu 21.10 either. So you need to go to the website and download this guy. I will post this URL. So this is the latest GitLab I can find. And the C version is the community edition, and E is the enterprise edition. I think enterprise is free for startup, educational institutions, and also it's free for open source project. So if you qualify for the E, you can install the E version, enterprise version. With the extra utilities, I chose this community edition. That meets my needs. So you download this guy, and the same trick: sudo apt install GitLab, blah blah blah. Once you install, you do not need to start any service. It automatically starts. You will execute a few lines of code on your terminal, which I will post again on the comment section. You need to configure a root user using this Rails, Ruby on Rails. That's what GitLab is built on. So once you configure the user, you can actually directly access this guy. You can just use a root, which is the root user you configured, and the password, whatever you configured with the Rails thing, you can now log in and do your stuff. And it's served by default on localhost port 80, so you don't need to type anything. Of course, this can be configured. So read my comment section. So installation is very straightforward, and if you're using an earlier version of Ubuntu, like Ubuntu 20 or something, you do not need to directly download the Debian file. The reason I had to download the Debian files to install this pgadmin4 and also this GitLab is that apparently I'm using the beta version of 2010. Those repositories do not have support yet, so I had to directly download the Debian version, the binary files. But chances are, if you're using an older version of the Ubuntu, you should have support already. You do not need to download those guys. Just follow the official instruction. Okay, that's the video. Thank you.